So Brent Venables had his coaches show on Monday night as well as his weekly press conference on Tuesday. Said a few things that did not sit well with Sooner fans and some things that Sooner fans probably expected. We're going to dive into that because there's a couple of things that jumped out to me that I wanted to point out, as well as remind you all about the one video I made the last time I was traveling back in September that we're going to have to dive into. We'll do that. We'll also talk polls because why? We do it every week, and I hate doing it while at the same time recognize I need to stay consistent. So let's jump in that. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. This video is powered by our partners over at BetUS. They are hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit, up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. Okay. Polls. Let's look at it. Yep. The Sooners have fallen out of the top 25. That loss to Texas, 34-3, just warranted us completely going down. And I said this the last time I looked at the polls where we were ranked. Until we figure out what this offense is going to be able to do, probably shouldn't be. Some pushback, which I totally agree and understand that it's kind of a little disrespectful to the defense. Well, now we're here. Not very good. But overall, things aren't just awful. Oklahoma's just outside of the top 25. And if you want me to be 100% honest, they still have a chance to get right back up there by righting the ship in this weekend's game against South Carolina. We're right there in the coaches. We're right there at 26. We're probably at 29, 30-ish in the AP. And if we go out there and we do what we're supposed to do in South Carolina and find some sort of offense, we're probably going to end up having us back in the top 25. But the biggest thing is we need to show something on offense. And Brent Venables really talked about that in that presser, and that jumped out to me heavy. So let's talk about that portion. Had to do the poll like we always do. We'll talk about what Brent Venables said, but first, word from the sponsor. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. You know what they're doing. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using our promo code YouTube150. And so we know Oklahoma's got a big game coming up this weekend against South Carolina. Sooners right now are 2.5-point favorites. Kind of weird to see the Sooners as a favorite at home against South Carolina with all the struggles, but hey, that may mean there's some faith. So if you want to take that bet, you want to also look at some of the NFL and NBA action, you can because BetUS has got everything. They're taking care of you. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. On your second and third deposits, you'll get 125% bonus up to $2,000 by using our promo code YouTube150, as well as they hook you up with some betting insurance. They're going to give you back 10% of your net losses twice a year to keep you in the game. Hopefully you're doing so much winning, you ain't got to worry about that. So check out BetUS, 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000, 125% bonus on your second and third up to $2,000. Use our promo code YouTube150, BetUS, where the game begins. So BV did not hold back. Coach's show, press conference, he honestly started off with really going in on the defense. And that was the one thing that a lot of fans felt like was quite tone deaf in the circumstance that we're dealing with here at Oklahoma, that the team ain't got a pulse on offense, and he's going in on the defense. Well, if you watched my morning after, when I talked about it on Sunday after the game, that was kind of a thing for me too, because what we've seen out of this defense is the defense is good enough that we should be able to lean on them a little bit more. And in that Texas game, they just looked like they were defeated. The first quarter was exactly the game we needed. The first quarter was everything you wanted out of this team on the defensive side of the ball. The offense didn't execute. We got a field goal. We should have had two. But the offense didn't get the ball moving or keep the clock running long enough. But the defense shut it down. But then they stopped missing tackles. They stopped executing on getting pressure. Quinn was just relaxed, but at the same time, you notice the difference in adjustments on the offensive coordinator side. And that leads into the next thing that Brent Venables talked about, staff changes. All of you want a staff change. Y'all saw I put out a post on X, Twitter, the expert, whatever you want to call it. And I just said it's time. I didn't say what that meant. It was purposely ambiguous. It's for you to make the decision on what you would want to happen. And I'm not even going to say what I want to happen. We talked about it on the live stream. To me, this staff this team, this front office, everybody, general manager, everybody here, chief of staff, whatever, need to get a search firm. Need to start searching for a new OC. That doesn't mean we get an OC, but we need to start searching for one. But Venables mentioned he's not been a part where there's changes midseason. That's not the thing. It's always happened at the end. To be honest, it only makes sense for it to go to the end of the season. If you've listened to Teddy and Gabe over there at the OK Breakdown, they've got their thoughts. Everybody else has had their thoughts around how things went on the offensive side of the ball, and that's where the tone deafness came in, is that Venables didn't really go in on the offense like everybody wanted him to, or even the coaches. Felt like he should have went in a little bit more on them. But that's not Venables. That's never been his thing. He goes in them in closed doors, but he doesn't throw them under the bus in front of the media and in front of the public. He pointed out execution issues on both ends, quarterbacks as well as the offensive coordinator and the coaching staff. He pointed out a lot of it is there's coaching issues here. There's also execution issues, because if you go watch the game, which I've watched it a few times, they're open plays. It's all about going through your progressions. And he's mentioned that we're going to stick with Michael Hawkins. And Michael Hawkins has earned this opportunity to show us. Jackson Arnold got 3.5 games. Now Michael Hawkins will have his 3.5 games. And to be honest, this is the perfect time to give an evaluation. Hawkins has the opportunity to seal things up against South Carolina. And it's all about execution. While at the same time, the offensive staff needs to find a way to simplify everything for them. That's where we're running into these problems. And this is where the issues came in my mind. They're not simplifying things for them enough. Some plays, they're simple, and you can see. But teams are smart enough, like against Texas, PK started to adjust immediately on some of the motions and some of the choices. But the one thing that kept working, that kept being consistent, was running the ball in the outside zone. That bad boy, going on outside, it was working. Barnes was getting yards. Then we kept trying to go back inside. It's one of those, sometimes you got to just keep running the same play until they stop it, right? And in some situations they did, but overall, there's a lot more complexity into trying to make these changes and adjust to a new quarterback, even though he's running the same, for the most part, system, or close enough. Limiting the choices for the quarterback and making it easy for them to have nowhere to quickly go through progression to get rid of the ball. It's more of a, if this second person isn't open, hit this fourth guy quickly. We did that. I think we would have saw a different result in the Texas game. Not a win, but a much closer game, because then it keeps the defense off the field constantly. But I got why Brent Venables went in on his defense. They gave up 100 yards rushing to a running back for the first time this season, to a team that's not very good at running right now. Go look at their numbers. That's what they're trying to get going. They've not been the best running team this season. It's just not Texas' strength. Their strength is their passing game. Sarkisian and Quinn and Arch. He does a really good job with that. Sarkisian is also a really good offensive mind. Venables has been proven to be a good defensive mind. I mean, I'm looking at the efficiency numbers. Oklahoma's top 10. Every team we played against, we've helped them well under their average of the season. That's the thing that you want. That's the good thing. We're not letting teams just go way over their number. We're keeping them under their average. We need to hold them even lower, though. That's where we need to lock in and really shut teams down. We have the opportunity, though. We got a few games to do it. Not just Maine. We have some SEC games that we can do that. We can hold teams well under their average and way below what they need to, because not everybody's that great on offense. We've seen them play. So Venables going in on the passing game, going in on the defense, made sense. Now, on the passing game side, he pointed out a few other things. There's a lot to go into, but these are the things that were key to me. That we got to make some decisions and execute. And this is how I wrap things up. Sometimes guys got to go be gamers. You want to know who we saw that was a gamer here? Caleb Williams. Things fell apart for him his freshman year as a quarterback. And some of his starts, that Kansas game, fell apart. What did he do? Grab the ball. I don't know if it was legal, but he got the ball and he made things happen. Look, I'm just going to toss it out there. Mims is out there somewhere passes. Sometimes you got to do that. And I know Michael Hawkins has it in him. Honestly, I know Jackson Arnold has it in him too. And I think that Michael's going to go out there and finally just take those chances because it really does feel like both of them are afraid of making mistakes. Now, Jackson made a lot of big public mistakes. Think he can bounce back. Michael Hawkins, on the other hand, he hasn't made any big public mistakes yet. He's just put his body on the line. Now he needs to go make some public mistakes. Throw that ball deep. Throw that ball into double coverage occasionally. Let us see if you're willing to go out there, do it, and then clean up the mistake. But if there's one thing I don't want to see anymore in this offense, I don't want to see option. I don't want to see RPO. Eliminate them for now. Let the players grow by you being the offense, you being the coach, you being the quarterback. OC, you got to. So, in time, I expect Oklahoma to evaluate. Brent Venables is going to evaluate every position, and they need to have a search firm already picked and let them just start doing the research. Again, that does not mean a change will happen, but it means that research needs to be done. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. How y'all feeling about that idea? You think the Sooners should go ahead and start the research? I know most of you do, but I know that we're not firing anybody right now. It's not going to happen, especially with all the circumstances that's gone around the offense. It ain't happening right now, but it will probably happen in December, depending on how things finish out. You made it this far, like the content, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'd love for y'all to join this family of Sooner fans talking OU football, SEC, college football general. Had a blast doing it. As y'all see, I'm still traveling. I'm traveling all week. Won't be as many videos because the timing ain't right. But I do want to talk about Jackson Arnold and Michael Hawkins later. So their video coming probably as soon as I get home in about a day or two before the South Carolina game. I'll have a video out for that, I promise. And what I think we need to do against South Carolina. I should be home to go live. Keep our fingers crossed. This video is powered by our partners over at BetUS. Check them out. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. I'm out. We'll talk soon. Peace.